We are now a couple days into the month of June, but in this video, I'm going to tell you about 3 coins that I am watching right now. And I'm not going to say that these are the coins that will have the greatest gains. In fact, they probably won't, seeing as all 3 of them are pretty large cap in the crypto space. But there are major events happening in this month of June that all 3 of these coins could play a major role in the beginning of the next altcoin season. Does that start in June? Does it come later? We might answer some of those questions in this video, but stick around to the very end because you want to know what's going on with these 3 projects. If you enjoy the video, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. All right, let's go. Before we get into the details of today's video, I do want to remind you about a special deal from one of our sponsors, and that is Lux Algo. For the next 2.5 days, you still have the opportunity to buy the ultimate level of Lux Algo for only $36 a month when you purchase a yearly package. That is a 40% offer right now. And again, it only has 2 days left. Normally, this can run you over $100 a month. So you want to act right now by scooping up the #1 trading tool in the market, and that is Lux Algo. The link is in the description down below. Make sure to use the bros link. Before we get into the 3 coins that I am watching the most in the month of June, I want to make sure to set the stage correctly for why we remain so bullish here at the Investing Bros channel. Going to my screen, you're going to see here on Bitcoin, we have been monitoring the M2, the global M2 money supply. This is something that should not be ignored. People should be paying attention to it. As you can see historically, the blue line is the M2 money supply. Bitcoin and crypto prices have followed it almost to a T. And when you zoom in here and look more recently, this M2 money supply actually predicted this timeline of a miniature pullback. And if we continue to follow it like we have in months past, it is predicting a major boom, not only for Bitcoin, but for the altcoin space, as well as risk on assets as a whole. So keeping that in mind, it's now time to dive into the 3 biggest coins to keep an eye on in the month of June. Coin number 1, it's going to be Ethereum. Ethereum secretly over the last couple of weeks has been holding up some of the best price analysis that we've seen of all altcoins. Unlike the rest of the space that's had a decent little pullback here, pulling all the way back down towards daily smart trail levels from the Lux Algo indicator, Ethereum is maintaining a very bullish structure inside of what we call an ascending triangle. And if you attach that to the fact that it also has an explosive move moving up, this could be perceived as a bull pennant. I'll tell you about where that price could go here in just a little bit. But why is Ethereum so important to pay attention to in the month of June? And what is going on with this chart that makes it so special? Well, another thing I want to look at here is the ETH over Bitcoin chart that has been bleeding like crazy all the way since back in September of 2022. Yes, at the bottom of the bear market, right there at the end of 2022, Ethereum over Bitcoin began to fall. And honestly, it's fallen to levels I didn't think it would make it back down to. But you can see for the first time since that start of that pullback in September, Ethereum over Bitcoin has established a nice little rebound in this camp all the way down here towards 0.01776. And just like the chart on Ethereum over US dollar, we're seeing another bull pennant here for Ethereum over Bitcoin that could signal that this would be the beginning of a big move on Ethereum to keep climbing over Bitcoin. Now, why is this important? When you zoom out, you can see that we reached levels. If I go to the weekly chart, we reach levels we have not seen since all the way back in 2020. What happened back in 2020? Well, that was the beginning of the last altcoin season, the last major push in cryptocurrency bull markets. And what you need to know about Ethereum is more often than not, when you're thinking about altcoin season, Ethereum starts to get a little bit of a lead. Ethereum charts, if you go all the way back to 2020, like I said, you began to see some climbing on Ethereum here at the end of 2020 before you saw it in the likes of Solana or Cardano or Dogecoin. It really was the beginning sign of a full-blown altcoin season. And right now, like I said, as Ethereum is holding up extremely well, giving us some amazing buying indicators, could this be the resurgence of Ethereum that leads to an altcoin season coming, I don't know, maybe later June, maybe later in the summer? Either way, Ethereum is going to be a coin to watch in the month of June. Can the bullish structure on this bull pennant play out? If it does, this would send the price of Ethereum all the way back up to $3,800. I think there's a level we could go much higher during the summer. Stick around and continue to subscribe and watch videos on the channel because I will release a video about Ethereum price predictions later on. What I want you to be aware of is at the moment, unlike the rest of the crypto space, there are no major sell signals. In fact, even as high as the weekly chart, Ethereum maintains bullish structure. If we do see some form of a pullback, what I will be watching for, like I said, with the rest of the altcoin space, don't be surprised if 2,200 to 2,100 is retouched, about 2,200, excuse me, will be retouched because that will be where the daily smart trail is. You also can take a look at looking at previous levels of significance. The previous month mid, which is a level to keep an eye on, is sitting right here at about 2,265. I'm not saying we do pull back down those levels, but if there is some negative news that comes out for Ethereum, that the daily smart trail with the previous monthly mid level at 2270, 2260, that's going to be an area to watch of interest. But for now, I remain extremely optimistic and bullish on the Ethereum charts. And can we see altcoins end up following them? We'll have to wait and see. Now let's move to coin number 2 that I am going to be watching and looking to trade in the month of June. It's going to be another large cap coin. It's XRP. If you love XRP right now in the comment section, go comment XRP Army so we know who here in the bros community is buying up these dips on XRP. Why, though, fundamentally, is XRP going to be a big deal in the month of June? Well, in case you hadn't heard, XRP recently has had a futures ETF approved. That's going to bring some added liquidity, added trading elements to XRP. But on June 17th, the SEC is meeting once again to decide, will they allow there to be a spot ETF? Of course, at this point in time, we have a Bitcoin spot ETF. We have an Ethereum spot ETF. Could XRP be the third spot ETF approved here in the United States? Everything from what I'm seeing in the news and the new heads of the SEC would lead me to believe that this is going to be approval, but this should have massive ripple effects on the price action of XRP one way or the other. So for right now, make sure you're paying attention to that. Another thing you want to pay attention to when it comes to XRP is the fact that the Genius Act should be passed at some point in the month of June. While we don't necessarily have all the details yet on when they'll make a final decision, this will have effects on stablecoins. And with XRP having one of the larger stablecoins in Ripple Labs USD, this is something, again, that can have major impact on XRP prices. So a lot of news flooding in here for XRP holders. It's going to make June a very interesting month. Going to the charts, though, let's go check out what we can look at here with XRP. We have been trading sideways. And some people are going to say down, but I'm going to say we have been trading sideways since the explosion that happened back in November, December of 2024. One thing that I'm going to be keeping a massive eye on is the weekly chart Bollinger Bands, where we are seeing constriction happen like we have not seen since all the way back here in October of 2024. What constriction on the Bollinger Bands means is that a big move should be on the way for XRP. And like I said, with the news that's coming out and with the possible massive bullish implications, I tend to lean to the upside. Could XRP fall back down to the lower level of this Bollinger Band towards 183? Absolutely, it could. But at the moment, we are tracking a big explosive move coming for XRP. And while this wouldn't be necessarily something to watch over the summer, this is a longer-term price prediction, you still have a major bull flag pattern forming on macro scales here with XRP that could send prices up over $11 long-term. So the catalyst for XRP seems like it'd have a very big kick here in the month of June. Keep an eye on what is going on there. Look forward to the next couple of weeks. I will give an end of summer price prediction for XRP as well. But June is a month to watch as this chart is gearing up for another big move coming very, very soon. The third and final coin that I want to take a look at here today and talk about why it's important to watch in June is Cardano. Now, some of you guys in the comment section right now are probably rolling your eyes because Cardano is one of the most polarizing coins in crypto. And there's a lot of polarizing coins, but few seem to have as much love or hatred as Cardano. But one of the biggest things that have been said against Cardano is the lack of liquidity, the lack of TVL. There seems to be a lot more attention going into other layer one solutions, not necessarily Cardano. Yet the Cardano community continues to believe that it is the future of secure layer one solutions in crypto. They believe that several projects will eventually decide to build alongside of them and with them because of their leading decentralization and security features. Well, here in the month of June, we are looking at the Reeves launch, which is a DeFi protocol that will help with some of those liquidity concerns. We also know in recent months that Cardano has formed very close relationships with Ripple Labs, owners of XRP, and Bitcoin. So all of those arguments being used against Cardano that they can't make it in this newest world, could Cardano actually hold the key to being one of the biggest movers of the altcoin season? Could it use the liquidity not just of the Reeves launch, but also XRP and Bitcoin to shoot itself back up into a potential top 5 project? We should know more about that here in the month of June. The first thing I want to talk about is that here on the Lux Algo indicators, while we have recently got a gray dot, this is again one of the few coins that is still under a weekly buy signal where we have the green reversals, we have bullish momentum, and the positive money flow continues to trickle in. We have not yet hit our targets of over $1 for this weekly buy signal, so this is going to continue to be one of the levels that I am keeping an eye on. Another thing that I want to note here is using the Fibonacci tool, how Cardano, the boring price section has happened recently, is probably one of the more bullish sides of why I think Cardano could be about to rally once again, as in the last couple of days, pairing with major buy signals on several different time frames, we have once again bounced off of this 66-cent 0.5 level. And we're beginning to see the trickling buy signals on Lux Algo where we're seeing MACD crossing bullish, buy signals with the green reversals, the bullish momentums, the positive money flows. We could start to see Cardano pick up some more liquidity and take off as, again, all of the suppression, all of the FUD, all of the negativity begins to be released here in the month of June. Could we see Cardano start to take off? I'm going to be shooting actually here this week a end of summer price prediction for Cardano, but I'll just start by telling you, keep your eyes in the next couple of weeks on a move back up above $1 for Cardano, as we are seeing, again, many buy signals continue to play out. We're putting in the higher highs, we're putting in the higher lows. The bullish structure is still here. All Cardano needs is a spark, and June might just be the spark that it's been looking for. If you guys are enjoying this video, like I said, smash the like button right now and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. In a nutshell, June is going to be a big month. Of course, May had explosions with a lot of altcoin prices peaking to the upside, but as we got to the end, a little bit of uncertainty and doubt and fear, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is called FUD, began to trickle in, causing several of you retail investors to be weary about altcoins. And I'm not here to promise you that June is going to be an explosively bullish month, even though I see on that M2 money supply a bullish structure, even though I see a lot of catalysts in the news that continues to keep me bullish. What I want to make sure you're seeing here is that you need to watch in June. If you're tuning out, if you're thinking this is a month to take off, reading the charts and paying attention to the news, you are dead wrong. If you have been waiting for years for the next altcoin season, if you're frustrated and you're saying, I don't know if I can hold on any longer, June should have a lot of answers for you to help you understand, is it time to bail out of cryptocurrency, or is it time to lock in, hodl on, and make that money later on in the year? My personal belief, this is going to be a very important and big month. Even if we trickle sideways for a couple more weeks, don't be surprised if June ends with bullish structure once again. Altcoin season coming later on this summer. That's my prediction. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's all I have for you in this video. I'll see you in the next one. Adios.
Nice.
Well, guys, you made it to the end of the video, which means if you're still watching, you did enjoy it. So once again, I urge you, please, please, please smash that like button, hit subscribe. It really does help us in the YouTube algorithm to continue to help people analyze charts and make wise investment decisions. Also, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live show here on YouTube. We will be doing giveaways for getting over 50,000 subscribers. You don't want to miss it, but you do need to be subscribed. So go ahead and do that right now, and I'll see you tomorrow.